it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question is, are people born gay? My answer to that question is, it does not fucking matter. It does not matter if people are born this way or not. We still deserve the rights and liberties to make the choices that we make and to have the freedom to live our lives the way we choose to live, regardless of how we are born. And in some ways, kind of backtracking on this a little bit in history and looking at perspectives, I do think that the reason why we talk about being born gay is that for a lot of us, we have the lived experience of feeling like this is something that inherent about us, something that has always been there, something that will not change, something that's there, that's not separable from our person. I also think that there's this concept that was part of the homo hysteria and all these movements about like hating on being gay that was, well, you could choose to not do that. And frankly, Christian conversion camps, like coming of age in the 90s, like this was like something we knew about, where people were like shipping their kids off to Christian camps to turn them not gay and to tell them they could just choose to not be gay anymore. And that was just so damaging and so horrible. So I think that's why there's such a strong concept and why we hold so tight to, no, I was made this way. You can't make me not this way. You cannot erase the fact that people like me exist. However, there's also another side of this coin, and that is, this is close to my heart as a bisexual woman, and talking to other women who are around my age range, and just stories that I hear from my community, from all sorts of different people. We are also not static creatures. We change over time. We change throughout the course of our lives. And some people have the lived experience of feeling like they have one sexual orientation that is predominant early in life, and then as they evolve through life, that may change. Same thing with sexual desire. These things fluctuate for a lot of people. And I think that sometimes we risk alienating people who do feel that fluctuation in their body by saying that, you're either born this way or you're not. And frankly, that's something that I had to face as part of the bi erasure that I faced when I was initially coming out. Because at that point, in the late 90s, there was just this concept that if you were bisexual, that you just hadn't figured it out yet. That you were clinging to your straightness, which I resented very much because I was absolutely not clinging to straightness. I am bisexual. I do think that also there are a lot of choices we make. We're about how we choose to live our life, how we choose to enter this world with whatever predispositions we have on any subject. And again, that is valid. That is absolutely valid. And nothing about whether or not I am making a choice to experiment or I am choosing to live a lifestyle I was born with. Nothing about either of those things invalidates the fact that I have the right to do this and that I'm doing no harm to anybody by being openly queer. I also want to talk about the experience of my sexuality and some of the feelings around coming out and just discovering my sexuality, because I think that this is an experience that is shared by a lot of people, and we don't talk about it much. So I thought I was straight. I was sure I was straight because I was very attracted to men, and I enjoyed sex with men. And then a friend of mine says to me, well, are you sure you're not queer? Or well, at that point it was like, are you sure you're not attracted to girls? Because it was, I don't think we were using queer in this sense at that time. But and I had never thought about it. I had never actually thought about, like, I don't know, never thought sexual thoughts and thought about girls before. So at least not consciously. So I did. So I masturbated and thought about beautiful women and discovered, oh my God, I am so attracted to women. But I do think that that's something that people don't know, that sometimes that's how it happens. Sometimes you really do think your orientation is one way because you've not opened your mind to other options. And once you open your mind to other options, something that fits better presents itself and works for you. And I think this happens in all sorts of things, because we operate based on the world we're in, the world we think we know. So for example, like, I may think that my favorite food is, chocolate ice cream, but that's because I've never tasted a fig before. And then I taste that fig and I'm like, wow, my favorite food is now a fig. Simple example, but there are all sorts of things in life like this where exposure and experience and experimentation broadens your horizons and helps you see more accurately what fits with you and what doesn't fit with you at this particular stage in life. Because also, people evolve, we change, we grow. And some people have found, and this is not an uncommon story, but some people have found that their sexual orientation evolves with time. And certainly, when you're talking about being a megasexual, being a demisexual, how you approach sexuality, that can change with time. Your relationship orientation, whether you're monogamous or polyamorous, absolutely can evolve with time, with your lifestyle, with where you are in terms of your sense of safety, with age, with brain development. And sexuality is the same. For some people, they find I've met people who were straight when they were 20 and are lesbians at 50. This is totally valid. These are all valid things. And again, the reason why, or coming back to it, it's all valid because these are all our choices to make in freedom and in liberty. And, really putting this out there, I am not going to cede the core of what makes of American idealism that I appreciate to people who hate. And that core is freedom. That core is the freedom to make your own choices and live your own life the way that you want to. And so long as your choices are not harmful to your neighbor, are not detrimental to individuals. So, my rights extend, as far as my circle, provided that I'm not damaging other people and they're not damaging me. And I really wish we could get back to more of that ideal, because I have the right to live in liberty. I have the right to pursue happiness in the way that I see fit, not the way that somebody else sees fit. And that means I don't have to say I was born this way in order to have that respect. However I came to be who I am, how I am here and now, living this life that I am living, making these choices is valid. And I deserve that respect regardless of whether I was born with this or not. Also, another unintended consequence of talking about being born with this is it makes it seem like a condition. And I just want to add just a little footnote here that being queer is not a psychological condition that needs to be treated. Whether that's gender orientation, sexual orientation, anything having to do with this, we are tired of being called mentally ill and sick, and we're not. And that's just the reality of it. This is not an illness. This is not a condition. This is not something that is wrong with us. And it doesn't really matter if we're born this way or if we're making choices. I think I was born this way. I think I was made this way. I think that whatever creator there is put me on this planet to be this. And if there is a creator, which I'm doubtful about, but to the extent that there is, I think that this is where I'm supposed to be. And regardless of how that came about, I have the right to do it. And I have the freedom to do it. And that's the important detail. So thank you very much for listening. This is Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Ask me anything by emailing me at kinkyqueerslut@gmail.com. Have a great day. Proud Poly Kinky Queer Slut is art. It is made for entertainment purposes only. I am not a subject matter expert on any of the topics discussed. Please do not rely on anything presented here as fact. Think for yourself, do your own research, make your own decisions. To submit a question, please email kinkyqueerslut@gmail.com.